everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having a really good Sunday. Before we get into today's Sunday musing, I would like to thank everybody for their kind, wonderful, wonderful dear words. After we lost Pepper, our border collie, last week, he was 14 years old. He was my rock and he got me through some really difficult years being an adoptive mother, dealing with quite troubled and violent kids from time to time. And he really was my rock and I miss him terribly. But I have some better news on the chicken front. So in this little box here, we have 3 new family members. We picked these up from the feed store the other day. There are 3 chickens in there. They are in the brooder box because right now they have been vaccinated, but the chickens that I'm about to show you have not been vaccinated. We had a collapse in our garage the other day, so we've just made some new tyre storage, which is quite fun. But let me show you what's been going on over here. It's also raining because Oregon, and I'm aware that the light's changed because I've gone from being outside to being inside, so I probably look quite washed out right now. But this is what I wanted to show you over here. Hi, Mama. How are we doing? So if you look under here somewhere, there are 2 little cheepers. There's one there, and there's one around the other side. She's doing really well. She's looking after her chicks. These were naturally hatched. These are from our flock. And we've got 2 that are still to hatch. So these ones have not been vaccinated yet against Merrick's, which is a really nasty disease that can affect chickens. And so we have not vaccinated against that yet because you have to vaccinate when they're like between 24 and 36 hours. They're going to get vaccinated today. We're holding a party because my daughter has just graduated high school. So a couple of people are coming over that I think will probably help with the vaccinations, including Kate Walton Elliott, who's coming down, and the lovely Erin Carley. So both of them are coming down. And so I'm probably going to get one of them to help me with the vaccination. We are down, so we've hatched 2 eggs. We've got 2 still in there. I don't remember how many eggs had been drop kicked by Grace in the last time we did a Sunday musing. I think I had told you that we'd lost 3 eggs, which is correct. We had 7 to begin with, then it went down to 4. 2 have hatched. I purchased 3 chicks from the feed store the other day to try and ensure we have enough chicks, because obviously the ones that have hatched in the coop with Grace, they may be boys and they may be girls, and we won't know for a while. So I've got some extra chicks to make sure that everything is, the flock is kept up, because unfortunately we did lose another hen this week, again, to a predator. So they are on strict lockdown completely now. And we're going to have to build a proper outdoor fenced in area. So I'm going to talk to some friends who've done that. I don't know if I actually also showed you, this is our end phase system for the solar roof. And even on a day like today, when it's wet and raining, we're still averaging about 20 kilowatt hours over the course of the day because we've got such a huge array. We're still able to generate power during the day, which is fantastic. It's great news. But that's not what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you today about keeping an electric car for a long period of time. So, as I'm sure some of you are aware, we had a Nissan Leaf. We had 2 Nissan Leafs. I had a 2011 Nissan Leaf, and then I ended up with a 2013 Nissan Leaf. After we emigrated from the UK to the US. And at the time we had the original Leaf. Obviously no one was doing a battery upgrade program. Nissan was charging a lot of money for that. And then when we moved to the US and we bought a used off-lease 2013 Nissan Leaf in 2015, we drove that car for a number of years until 2019 when we swapped it out for my wife's Chevrolet Bolt. So behind me here, this is my Chevrolet Bolt. This is my wife's Chevrolet Bolt. We switched out because we live, and I figured out what the name of the area is called. We live in the Tualatin Mountains. There you go. I'll let you know that much. We live in the Tualatin Mountains, and it was too far for the Leaf to travel every day in winter and us still to have heating for my wife's office, obviously in a pre-COVID world. But in the last couple of weeks, we've done a video on battery swapping. So there's a company in Portland that will actually take your Nissan Leaf and give it a new battery pack. Swap out an old battery pack and put in a new one. Either the same specifications as your original battery, or it will give you a longer battery pack, a better, longer battery pack. And I want to talk to you today about batteries in EVs, and if it was available for your particular car, whether you would keep your electric vehicle longer if you knew that you could buy either a manufacturer-supported battery pack with a larger capacity than your original car, or whether you'd go out and buy a used car battery pack that was a larger capacity than the one in your vehicle and put that in instead. And I'm curious as to whether that would shape which vehicles you bought, and once you bought that vehicle, whether it would mean whether you would keep it longer. So for example, if Tesla was still doing battery upgrades for its cars, which I don't believe it is anymore, would you buy a Tesla and keep it longer knowing that you could swap that battery out when it was replaced? If Chevrolet, for example, did a battery upgrade for the Bolt, would you be more enticed to buy a Bolt and then keep that car for 10 years? Because, the average period that a lot of people keep their cars now has gone up. People are keeping their cars, and certainly in the US, on average of 10, 12 years now. Would you buy an electric car, or be more tempted to buy an electric car if you knew that during those 12 years, if anything did happen to the battery, and we know that the batteries in cars like Bolts and Model S's and all of that are designed to outlive the car, but let's just say that you want to keep the car longer, would you be tempted to buy that car, more tempted to buy that car, knowing that you could easily get a replacement battery pack? Because I know that certainly for first-time EV owners, finding a battery pack and getting it replaced is something that people worry about, even though in the real world, we know that that's not a problem. Unless you happen to own a Nissan Leaf, of course. But I'm curious, and would you be happy to drive a 20-year-old Chevrolet Bolt EV, for example, in the future, if this car was supported and you knew you could get replacement battery packs for it, either from the original manufacturer, in this case GM, or from a third-party supplier? I don't think I would have any problem with that. So, for example, if I knew when we've got a Ford F-150 Lightning on order, I know that if Ford was to come out and say, yeah, we are gonna continue to support this pickup truck for 30 or 40 years, we're going to allow people to put new batteries in, that would really change how I felt about the truck. I'd be even more eager to get one. But if Ford turned around and said, no, we're not going to support any third-party upgrades, if you put a third-party upgrade in, we will not work on your vehicle or anything like that, I would be less tempted to buy it. So I know that there are car companies out there that frown on battery replacements. And I know a lot of people in the comments will say, yeah, but batteries are dangerous. They can catch fire, they can short circuit, they can go bang. This is not something that people should be mucking around with. I hear you. But let's not forget that fuel injection systems are equally as dangerous. If you fit an aftermarket fuel injector and it goes wrong, your car goes bang. And the same thing is obviously true for battery pack replacements. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd be Very eager to know what you think. Thanks for supporting the channel as always. Because it's raining, I don't have my little list of Patreon supporters. I am sorry, but know that you guys make it possible. You really do. We have some great content coming up in the next few months that I don't want to discuss too much at the moment, but suffice to say, there is a big road trip coming. There's 2 big road trips coming that we will be chronicling. A bit of a challenge, let's put it like that. And there's some great other stuff coming soon as well. I'm going to go back inside and get ready for our barbecue. Yeah, in this rain. We have an electric barbecue, so we might actually grill on the porch and it'll be safe. We are going to go celebrate my daughter's graduation. I'm going to go and take some pain meds for my back. I've done something stupid to my back a couple of weeks ago when I was working on the garden. I don't know what I did. I did my back in, and then last week, after my dog was put down, I had a very strong emotional reaction, and that caused my back to go out even further. So I spent the last 2 weeks in quite a lot of agony in my back, especially when I'm doing videos like this. It's a bit more obvious than when I'm sat in the studio and I'm doing pieces to camera. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. There'll be more great content next week. Keep evolving.